Hello, Whittier. I'm Kennedy Banks.
And I'm Dia Ditmar.
And welcome
And
to
welcome to
WETV.
WETV.
As you can see, we are not broadcasting this week from our WETV studio.
That's because, as you know, we are all required to stay home. That way, we will be less likely to catch the coronavirus.
Yes, but don't worry about that darn virus. We've got great doctors working extra hard to make sure we're safe.
Speaking of doctors, we've got Dr. Keith here to share a few tips with you. Dr. Keith?
Hello, Whittier Wildcats. My name is Dr. Jennifer Keith. I'm a pediatrician. That's a fancy name for a kid doctor. And I just wanted to let you know that I'm very happy to hear that you are staying home to help us stop the spread of this nasty germ called the coronavirus. You're home, so you can't pass that virus to a friend who could then pass it to another friend, who could then pass it to another friend, and who could then pass it to somebody who might get sicker from the infection, like a grandparent, an older person. So thank you for staying home. This is a good thing for you to do, and try to stay about 6 feet away if you happen to be out from any other person, and wash your hands. Do a good happy birthday song slowly while you're washing your hands, and get all parts, including your fingers and your thumbs, when you wash your hands, and cough into your arm, into your elbow like this if you have a cough. And all of these will help us stop the spread of this nasty germ so a lot of people don't get as sick. Thank you for your part, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Dr. Keith. I'll make sure I follow all those suggestions. Now, if there were a normal broadcast, we do the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's go ahead and do that anyway. Wherever you are, go ahead and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready?
Please remain standing for the Whittier Wildcat Pledge. Ready, begin. I am a Whittier scholar. I am respectful. I am responsible. I am safe. I always do my best and I strive for excellence.
Thank you. You may be seated.
So, Kennedy, it's still March, so we still have the same survival skill, right?
Yes, dear, we do. It's accepting no for an answer. Even though we're not at school, this is a skill you can use while you're at home.
So when I asked my mom for more time to watch TV, and she says no, I shouldn't argue.
Exactly. Moms, dads, and grandmas are always right.
That's very true. Now for the joke of the week, let's head over to Tamara from Mr. Yu's class.
What did one math book say to the other?
What?
I've got so many problems. Why are teddy bears never hungry?
Why?
They're always stuck. Can't a music teacher start his car?
Why?
His keys are on the piano. Why did the cookie go to the doctor?
Why?
He was feeling crummy.
Thanks for those jokes, Tamara.
Awesome. Now we haven't done a This Day in History segment in a while. Let's do one now. Did you know that on this day, back in 1954, RCA made the first color TV? It was super small, only 12 inches, and it costed around $1,000.
That's a lot of money. Wow.
It sure was. Now,
Now, for those of you who still want a school lunch, the cafeteria is passing out a breakfast and a lunch every day between 11 to 12 o'clock.
just make sure you go with your parents, or else they won't give you a lunch.
That's awesome. Now we have something even more awesome. Mrs. Goodstory is here to read us a book. Mrs. Goodstory.
Hi kids, Mrs. Goodstory here. Look who this is. This is my kitty Pink. She came to listen. Oh, maybe not. Mrs. Goodstory here. I get to read aloud to you with Scholastic's permission any book that I want. So I'm reading aloud to you. Move Over, Rover. It's about rain. I think it's going to rain a lot. This was written by Karen Beaumont, illustrated by Jane Dyer. Move over, Rover. Rover's in the doghouse, chewing on a bone. What a day to romp and play. Too bad he's all alone. Oh my, look at the sky. Thunder, lightning, mighty frightening. Rain is pouring. Oh, how boring. Rover's in the doghouse, sleeping through the storm. Cat is looking all around to find a place that's warm. Move over, Rover. Cat's in the doghouse, sleeping through the storm. Raccoon is looking all around to find a place that's warm. Skit, scat, cat. Move over, Rover. Raccoon's in the doghouse, sleeping through the storm. Squirrel's looking all around to find a place that's warm. Make room, Raccoon. Skit, scat, cat. Move over, Rover. Squirrel's in the doghouse, sleeping through the storm. Blue jay's looking all around to find a place that's warm. Squeeze in, squirrel. Make room, raccoon. Skit, scat, cat. Move over, Rover. Blue jay's in the doghouse, sleeping through the storm. Snake is looking all around to find a place that's warm. Out of the way, Blue Jay. Squeeze in, squirrel. Make room, raccoon. Skit, scat, cat. Move over, Rover. Snake's in the doghouse, sleeping through the storm. Mouse is looking all around to find a place that's warm. Slide aside, snake. Out of the way, Blue Jay. Squeeze in, squirrel. Make room, raccoon. Skit, scat, cat. Move over, Rover. Tidy fit. Might split. Sorry, mouse. Full house. Crowded in the doghouse. All are sleeping well. But then, sniff, sniff. They catch a whiff. What's that awful smell? Skitter, scatter. What's the matter? Scamper, scurry. What's the hurry? Look at, they're all running away. What do you think? Skunk's in the doghouse, sleeping through the storm. The rest are racing round to find another place that's warm. Oh, look at the sky. Storm's over. Where's Rover? I don't see him on that page. Romping, racing, jumping, chasing. No. Rover's in the doghouse, chewing on a bone, soaked and sopping, tail flip-flopping. happy Daddy's home. Okay, I want to show you something. Look back at the very beginning. Look right here. Did you see him on the first page? The skunk was on the very first page. Now look real closely. Right there. He's in the house already. Did you see that? Right there. He's on every page. He's hiding in the shadows. There's his tail. He was in there. Wasn't till the end till he smelled him. Cute story, huh? Thank you, Scholastic, for letting us share your book. Bye, everybody. Wash your hands.
Thanks, Mrs. Good Story. Make sure you guys are all reading books at home and practicing your skills. That way, you'll be ready to work hard when we come back.
I love reading. I'll make sure to keep reading and working on my math while I'm home.
Also, the school district is doing a nightly reading of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. They're reading one chapter each night. You can watch that on the Hemet Unified Facebook page.
Now, we have a special guest, Professor Fizzy Fingers. Check him out.
Hello, fellow scientists. Professor Fizzy Fingers here with my sidekick, Gaston. How are you doing today, Gaston?
I'm great, Professor. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Do you have some cool experiments to show us today?
Why, yes, I do, Gaston. Have you ever heard of the word buoyancy?
Nope.
Well, I'd like to talk to you about buoyancy today. If something's buoyant, that means it floats, Gaston.
Do you mean like when I float on my back in the pool?
Yes, Gaston, exactly like when you're floating in the pool.
So, what makes some things float and some things sink?
I'm so glad you asked. That's a great question. The secret of buoyancy, or the ability to float, depends on mostly two factors. One, the amount of water that the object displaces or pushes aside, and two, how heavy it is.
I don't get it.
That's okay, no worries, Gaston. Let me explain a little more. Take this piece of clay, for example. If I were to get out my scale here, and I were to turn it on, and I think it's working, there we go, and I put that clay onto the scale. Right now, that clay weighs 27 grams, Gaston. That's a lot of weight, okay? So, in order for this piece of clay to float in the water, it's going to have to displace or push aside at least 27 grams of water in order to stay on top. Otherwise, it's too heavy and it sinks. It's kind of like when you get in the bathtub, and you know how when you get in the bathtub, the water goes up a little bit? Yeah? Well, the same thing goes with anything that goes in the water. The water has to make room for it. So here we go. Let's watch and see if this floats. It didn't float so good, did it, Gaston?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to try something else. I'm going to take this piece of clay, and I'm going to smush it, and push it, and gush it, and make it into like a little boat. Think I can do that, Gaston? Yeah? Okay, so I'm going to kind of push it around. Do you think it's going to float now?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, can you journey to guess?
I think probably.
Okay, well, let's try it. Here we go. Oh, hold on, I gotta push this little side up a little bit more. There we go, let's put it in the water and see if it floats. Ha ha! Voila! It's floating! What do you think of that, Gaston?
That was awesome.
It is awesome, and that's because it is now pushing aside more than 27 grams of water. Pretty cool, huh?
Oh, so that's why a big heavy boat can float?
Exactly, Gaston. Check out these oranges. I can do a really cool experiment for you on buoyancy with these oranges. Now, if I drop this orange in the water, I had to put more water in the bowl, but do you think that it's going to float?
Of course not.
No? All right, let's try it out. Oh, check that out. It's floating, Gaston.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera, but it is floating. Do you know why?
Because of buoyancy.
Oh, yes. Okay, now here's the interesting thing. If I take this peeled orange, do you think it's going to float?
Yes.
Oh, okay, let's try it. Look at that. It sunk all the way to the bottom. Do you know why?
Buoyancy.
Yes, but what happens is this orange, it has lots of air bubbles It has lots of air bubbles inside of it, and that's what helps it float. But when we take the peel off, all the water fills up inside and it makes it more heavy, or heavier. And then it sinks straight to the bottom because it's not displacing enough water. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, now, boys and girls at home, we have a challenge for you to try at home. I want you to fill up your sink with water, or your bathtub, and now I want you to experiment with different items at home to see what floats and what doesn't float. Then, I want you to create a boat that floats. You can use any items from your home that you create. Now, you may work all by yourself, or you may work with your partner if you want to, or your mom or your dad or your brother or sister. Remember to think like an inventor. Be a problem solver. Use your imagination and have fun. When you're done with your boat, take a picture of it or a video of it floating in your sink or your tub. Then you can send it to Mr. Packham. Here's Mr. Packham's email right here. Send it to Mr. Packham and he's going to post it on next week's WETV broadcast, or if it's the week after, he'll put it on the next WETV broadcast. Again, you might want to pause this video and write down that email so that you'll know where to send it to. So, did you learn something today, Gaston?
Yes, Professor. And I'm ready to go and build myself a boat.
Fantastic, Gaston! Remember, kids, have lots of fun with this. It's time for me to go now.
Why, yes it is.
Thanks for listening. Now, remember, science is everywhere, so keep calm and science on.
Awesome. Thanks, Professor and Gaston. I'm excited to create my boat. Remember, when you finish your boat, take a picture and send it to Mr. Packham.
That does sound fun. Don't go out and buy anything from the store, though. Just make something using the items you have laying around.
Speaking of laying around the house, a couple of teachers sent in videos to let us know what they're up to while they're stuck at home. Check it out.
Hey Whittier, I sure miss you all. On this time of seclusion, I've been working on a puzzle, which I plan to do more of. I'm sure we'll have plenty of time. My husband and I go for walks every day. He's out in the garage working on who knows what at his workbench to keep himself occupied. And then on days like today, I like to work in my garden. And also, when it's so sunny, I can come outside to do my favorite thing to do, which all of you probably know since I'm the reading teacher. I read a book. I've been reading a lot. And the good thing about books is even though you're secluded in your houses, you can go anywhere when you're reading a book inside your mind. So keep reading every day, you guys. It really does help with the time. And we'll see you as soon as we can. We love you all and can't wait to be back to Whittier. Bye.
Hey, Whittier Wildcats, it's Mrs. Trench. It's so good to see you. What have you been up to this last week? Hopefully you've done some schoolwork. Well, I thought I would take a few minutes to go in the backyard since it's not raining and first enjoy the sun, which is so cool. But also I thought I would go ahead and pick some lemons from my lemon tree here. You know what they say, if you got lemons, make lemonade. So I thought I'd pick some lemons today, take to my neighbors and check to make sure they're doing okay. Have you been checking up on your neighbors? It's a good idea that we all look out for each other. All right, Wildcats, be good and do good, because you know good's going to come back to you.
Hello, we are hiking. Where are we hiking?
Stinson Park!
Yay! Quarantine day 7.
Hi everybody, since we've been given this extra time at home, I just wanted to share a little bit about what I'm doing with my extra time. So I started this project. It's a painting project, and so far, this is what I've got done. Hope y'all are doing well.
Thanks, teachers. We did get one more video from Juan Brown in Mrs. Escobedo's class. Just remember, don't try this at home. His dad was there.
What's up, guys? We're gonna be doing dry ice versus regular ice. The regular ice in the hot water, it'll melt. Look at me. Okay. Yep, it is melting. I think when we put the dry ice in the hot water, it's gonna be hot. Okay, let's see what happens.
Let's see.
See, oh my, what is on? Is that remote?
It's big. Come on, you can play it.
Oh.
Look at this.
That was cool. Well, that wraps up this week's broadcast. Until next time. Thanks for watching
WETV.
Have a fantastic day
and enjoy
What's Up Whittier coming up right now. Stay safe and stay at home.